So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Got Harem with Power Ranger. So let's start the series. Naruto get back. Jiraiya yelled, this is an individual from Akatsuki. The youthful high schooler immediately shot in reverse away from the orange-veiled figure. Goodness dear, the figure started, you shouldn't have be here, Toby can't seal your little companion away until last. Well, supposition I'll need to take care of you for safety's sake. Jiraiya attempted to intercede as the cloud-garbed figure shot forward, however some way or another the man became immaterial and gone directly through the amphibian sage's outstretched leg. Unexpectedly the man was directly before Naruto and genuinely present once more. I'll see you in a couple of years when I can utilize you, kid, Kamui. There was an odd extending around Naruto and he felt himself being yanked someplace. Then, at that point, partially through the cycle he saw Jiraiya get a hit in on the veiled man with a Rasengan. Burk. The Akatsuki part let out a snort and out of nowhere Naruto felt himself get yanked sideways rather than in reverse. Furthermore, the world turned out of concentration. What's more, he felt a bizarre tearing in his center, and heard a yowl of torment. What's more, he awakened gazing at a dull roof and encompassed in fog. He gradually stood up gripping his head. Where am I? As he looked around he saw that the room was exceptionally unusual. There was a little entryway behind him, somewhat taller than he was, closing this region of the room off from a bigger sinkhole brimming with dimness. There were candles all over the place, a special stepped area out of the way. And before him was an impressive passage over a huge jar. Unexpectedly a blue energy drifted out of the jar and mixed before him into the type of a wide, blue protected man conveying a katana upon his back. All the more critically youthful one, why have you attacked my sanctuary of force? Naruto fell back onto the floor in shock and mixed in reverse until his back hit the door. Ah. Look, mister, I'm sorry, this abnormal person went after me and I think he was attempting to magically transport me someplace and I think my master went after him and the instant transportation thingy turned out badly and presently I'm here, kindly don't be distraught, I guarantee it isn't my shortcoming. The odd figure stooped down, hands kneeling down, and examined the kid. Chi chakra is inalienable, not the consequence of extraordinary reflection and preparing or an immediate association with the transforming lattice. Fascinating. That got under Naruto's skin a little. Hello. I'll have you realize I prepared my butt off. The kid bounced up to his feet and the man accordingly pulled himself back up to full level. However, Naruto couldn't have cared less and shook his clenched hand in the man's face. I've prepared really difficult to turn into an extraordinary ninja. Irika teacher, Kakashi master, and Ero-sen Jiraiya teacher have prepared me loads of ninjutsu and stuff. What's more, I'm a lot nearer to becoming Hokage than any time in recent memory. Databao. The figure shifted its head, characteristic chakra, prepared and refined into ninjutsu strategies, and a fire shadow. Who are you? What's more, where could you from, kid, be? Naruto puffed out his chest and stuck his thumb into it, pointing at himself. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, genin of Konohagakure, the town concealed in the leaves. What's more, some time or another I will lead that town by turning into the most grounded ninja there at any point was. And afterward the last thing he expected happened. The figure before him started to giggle. Honestly, it was additionally the last thing the figure before him had expected when he had gone over a gatecrasher in his space also. Seeing the kid's shocked and distrusting look, the blue figure held up a hand and stopped his chuckling. I trust you, kid, but it has been since a long time ago I have seen a follower of human expressions so youthful, thus brimming with force. I only was giggling at recollections of my own childhood quite a while in the past and distant. With that the man took his protective cap off and uncovered a matured, however not old look and long white hair. White eyes which Naruto perceived as the Byakugan, and two little horns lifting up out of his temple. I'm Suenen Otsutsuki, an individual from the aspect voyaging faction of planet eaters who disavowed their methodologies and turned into this aspect's most prominent sage of the Ninshu expressions, the ancestor of what turned into the ninja expressions in your homeworld. You see, I keep my strong eyes upon my more distant family. My cousin Kagaya was the mother of your reality's wise of the 6 ways, and subsequently I have a ton of experience with Konoha, but here I am known as Ninja. Naruto's mouth dropped further open. Wahat, he genuinely yelled, I thought the sage of the 6 ways was a fantasy. Oh my goodness. Also, you're his mother's cousin. That should make you like. The kid started counting fingers. At the point when the kid began to take his shoes off to attempt to count his toes, Ninja mediated, around 20,000 years of age. My tribe is seemingly perpetual, however typically we should consume the existence powers of planets to accomplish what I have through additional serene means. Naruto looked into, stand by assuming you are familiar Konoha and your family ventures between them places. Might you at any point get me home? Ninja frowned and peered down. Tragically, part of the course of my lifespan has tied me unalterably to this aspect. My powers can't impact aspect not expressly associated with this one, and, surprisingly, in more modest aspects with an association with here my powers are unquestionably reduced. I can't get you home, youthful one. Naruto was crushed by this. Honestly, he didn't exactly comprehend until Ninja's last announcement, however it was destroying regardless. Seeing the expressive and frequently overflowing kid so near being made the outsider's man extremely upset. Defrosted some more. This doesn't mean it is basically impossible to get you home, kid, essentially that I can't do so myself. There might be strategies someplace in this aspect that can accomplish it. To that end, why do I not train you in my own adaptation of human expression? It might require a couple of years. However, when you are sufficient and proficient enough about this universe, you can look throughout and answer yourself. While Naruto was thinking about this, a fire on the close by special raised area became bigger and more red, a red that Naruto would have found recognizable had he been focusing. That sounds like my absolute best, Databeo. The kid shouted, rapidly recovering his energy, fanned by his interest at this new world and at gaining from the relative of such a mythic figure as the Sage of the 6 Ways. It was right now that Naruto's stomach snarled. Ninja sensei, does this spot have a kitchen? Ninja's katana impeded 12 shuriken suddenly of movement, sending them flying. The kid dashed in with 2 shadow clones for a whirlwind of taijutsu strikes, and all were diverted by the sage's other hand, and in the end the 2 clones were dispersed with speedy punches of his edge, and the genuine Naruto went flying in reverse over a hedge. They were competing in Ninja's nursery outside the primary region of the sanctuary. Naruto was breathing vigorously as of now, and they had just been grinding away a couple of moments. Subsequent to eating his fill, Naruto had been driven over here to test his capacities. Up to this point Ninja was modestly intrigued. The kid had dreadful strategy for his taijutsu, yet his ninjutsu abilities were fantastic for a 13-year-old, and his weapon abilities were more than respectable. However, generally noteworthy, Ninja thought as he reverse flipped away from a clone that burst out of the ground with a Rasengan turning, was the kid's grip of improvisational strategies. It made him an extremely risky and capricious enemy to most foes, he would bet. With a push of his clench hand and minor utilization of chakra, an explosion of strong vacuum force surged forward at the first Naruto, who burst into smoke after being hit. Great utilization of your replacement capacity, youthful shinobi. Supplanting yourself with a clone is quite often desirable over enduring a shot with your capacity to make large numbers of them. Behind his cap he enacted his Byakugan to pinpoint Naruto. There was not an obvious explanation to give the kid a major head by allowing him to land an unexpected hit on the off chance that the sage was excessively remiss. Again the kid burst out of the ground, and this time Ninja pummeled his katana grip down on his head right away. which shocked Naruto enough that a very much positioned kick sent him into a tree trunk. Try not to over-depend upon shock assaults from a heading you have gone after previously. You are seldom unsurprising, however you really do fall into specific strategies, of course. Naruto immediately recuperated and returned quickly up to his feet. No doubt, Ninja Master. Then take this. He framed his most loved hand sign and amassed a lot of his excess chakra. Mass shadow clone method. 100 Naruto clones sprang into being around the nursery, and Ninja shifted his head. My, you truly do have a remarkable chakra save, don't you, little grasshopper? As the clones hurried in, Ninja let out a laugh and started destroying the swarm. His edge was a spinning dervish of steel and demise. His other hand didn't stay inactive, snatching and throwing approaching clones. He reverse flipped and kicked and, surprisingly, utilized his free hand to turn like a top, popping clones with his turning cutting edge and feet simultaneously. At long last, Ninja jumped very high and sheathed his cutting edge and started doing something Naruto presently couldn't seem to see. The wise make a solitary hand sign. Furthermore, unexpectedly, a monster ninja had a foot crashing downward on a score of shadow clones without a moment's delay. A quick kick sent everything except 5 leftover clones flying, and those 5 were over by the first, who was endeavoring to frame a huge Rasengan. He prevailed with regards to making one about the size of a volleyball with the assistance of 2 clones and jumped at Ninja's monster structure, just to be smacked somewhere near the blue sage and have his method hit the ground and make an enormous pit. Quickly Ninja contracted down to ordinary size. That was magnificent, Naruto. You are very capable for your age. I accept you will make a talented follower. From inside the pit he heard a low moan of torment before leisurely and shakily a clenched hand raised out to offer him a go-ahead. Then the hand fell once again into the cavity. In the wake of holding up a couple of seconds, Ninja inquisitively strolled over and peered down inside. He was welcomed with a wheeze from his new understudy. Okay, maybe I went overboard. The new guide tranquilly chose up his past understudy and took him back to one of the side rooms of the sanctuary, which was currently to act as his room. Coming back to his container to anticipate Naruto's enlivening, he passed the special stepped area and saw that one of the candles addressing specific parts of the transforming framework was still in a condition of motion and pain. It was enormous and an irate red. He had thought it was only the consequence of the kid's appearance when he saw it before. Layered energies frequently unsettled the lattice. However, presently, following a couple of hours had passed, he was stressed. Consequently, Ninja set out toward his really custom room. It was neighboring his library and where he arranged any ceremonies utilizing lattice enchantment or fuinjutsu, or the crossover ceremonies he utilized for making zords and power coins. 3 incense burners, a spiraling sealed drawing of chakra implanted chalk, all with a huge luxurious mirror in the middle. Later, Ninja was prepared for the scrying custom. Making 3 hand signs, Ninja diverted both chakra and network power into the seal and everything started to sparkle. What he found was stunning. A horrendous, yet not exactly malicious, fox soul made of percolating red chakra was stuck inside the piece of the transforming network that held the soul creatures that he utilized for the ninjetti-based powers and zords, the piece of the matrix generally firmly associated with his sanctuary. The soul was battling the spirits of the gorilla, hawk, crane, frog, wolf, and bear at the same time, and it was winning. As he watched, the bird of prey's soul became entangled in the contention, and the 9 tails of the fox soul blew up, pummeling every one of the 7 soul creatures into the astral ground of the framework. With a moan, Ninja ventured through, drawing on the network ability to accomplish his own form of sage mode. When he was on the opposite side, he developed to his Goliath size, and sparkling blue chakra reinforcement developed to incorporate his typical protective layer. Enough. His voice reverberated all through the astral domain, and with hands held out, strips of chakra that looked like bands became suddenly angry and developed, tying the extraordinary fox soul down as it yowled out of resentment. What are you, soul? Also, how could you come to be in my astral domain? The fox murmured again, you. How would you have chakra like my dad's? Also, how might you control the Kyubi no Kitsune with strips the manner in which a Uzumaki could with chains? That is when Ninja got it, the kid was your Jinchuriki. My protections probably shunted you off into this domain when he showed up here unintentionally. The fox growled, I care not for why my prison guard was here, answer my inquiries damn you. With a murmur Ninja eliminated his veil briefly time in one day. Very basic, I'm the cousin of your dad, or his mom's cousin in any event, and I'm to this domain what he was to your reality. The bad-tempered fox soul was for once speechless. With a moan Ninja filled the quietness as the creature spirits of his segment of the matrix gradually recuperated and shaped up behind him. From my perceptions of your reality I realize you were fixed away shamefully, yet it has made a severe harshness inside you. I have a proposal to make you. While in this domain you might remain in my astral plane with individual spirits, the plane is wide and loaded with various profound scenes, you would have opportunity inside insofar as you acted. I have two things to request from you consequently. The Kyubi found opportunity to consider this, glancing around as how the ethereal clearing did ultimately lead out into a blend of bizarre and scary astral scenes. What two things? First, I require your name, and second, that should the opportunity arrive that it is required you loan your capacity to an officer, a kind of channel for the force of the spirits in this domain, that I consider commendable. Your cognizance wouldn't require be engrossed with the officer, they would just take advantage of your power occasionally, significantly less recognizable and obtrusive than when your Jinchuriki would do as such. The fox snarled somewhat however in the end submitted, Gur very well, insofar as it is genuinely all around as unobtrusive as you propose it is, I am Kurama. Ninja held out his hand and released the ties, and when Kurama set a paw into it a settlement was framed, and when the paw was removed, there sat another power coin with a 9-followed fox on the face. It had been a long time since Naruto had arrived in Ninja's sanctuary and he had advanced such a great amount in that time. Kia! He shouted as he pushed his palm out and an impact of wind went jumping towards his coach. He was in his fundamental preparation uniform, orange hand-to-hand fighting jeans, a dark tank top with orange coating, ninja sandals, and a dark headband with the finishes following back hauling his hair out of his eyes. His abilities in taijutsu and kenjutsu had worked on enormously throughout recent years. For sure they had been Ninja's concentration in his preparation, and his body showed it. He had placed on a ton of wiry muscle and lost all of his excess child fat. The other thing they had chipped away at was his inclination control of wind. While Ninja was an actual ninja ace, spend significant time in the utilization of yang delivery as shown by his super multi-size method dominance, he was learned in every one of the essential deliveries alongside the yin and yang discharges. Naruto could project vacuum waves and make wind cutting edges along his hand just with unadulterated natural control now, and he could with hand signs spam decimating wind procedures and was chipping away at the breeze strolling method. However, his chakra control was as yet not tight enough to use it completely. Ninja's chakra mixed sharp edge cut directly through the assault, sending pneumatic stress separating to the sides into shrubberies, for reasons unknown a crazy blast of soil and leaves kicked up. With a short snort Naruto's eyes limited on his educator and he slid his tanto out of the sheath on the rear of his dark belt and ran forward to draw in Ninja in a whirlwind of kenjutsu. Naruto favored an opposite grasp style of battle with the short sword, brimming with wide slices and underhanded cuts that could be mixed with his breeze chakra for obliterating impact. The length of the edge was likewise no issue as in circumstances where he really wanted to arrive at he could change to an ordinary hold and extend the sharp edge with that equivalent breeze chakra. Being made of a similar metal, which evidently was utilized in all officer-related weaponry Ninja had worked with throughout the long term, his tanto held up well against Ninja's katana. What's more, the katana held up well contrary to the natural flow chakra being conflicted against it. As Naruto dodged an especially wide cut from his master, he shaped his number 1 hand seal and 3 shadow clones framed up, currently mid-swing with their own tantos and encompassing Ninja. Sadly, Naruto Prime needed to execute a crisis reverse flip as Ninja sank quickly into the ground and the clones generally dispersed themselves with their strikes and nearly hit their creator. As Naruto's hand contacted the ground to finish his retrogressive flip, Ninja's clenched hand jumped out and socked him right under the jaw, sending him flying. As the orange and dark haze flew through the air from the power of the blow, a silver stream of energy landed and framed into the state of a young lady. With eyes wide in shock, she dropped into a fight position with her staff. "Father, is the sanctuary enduring an onslaught?" she shouted out. The sage gradually turned around to confront her. "Ah, no, not at all like that, Dulcia. I just wished you to come and meet my new helper. However, I was expecting you a piece later. It appears you have shown up during our everyday instructional course." With a snort and extremely far off, Naruto staggered to his feet and started strolling over, having heard none of the discussion from that distance. Sensei, who is this?" Naruto was really inquisitive, however he was likewise running a speedy internal talk to make sure to keep his eyes up, as the lady was wearing close to nothing, a fight two-piece and thigh-high boots. "You truly ought to have anticipated that last blow, Naruto," the blue sage chastised, "and I might want to make presentations. Dulcia, this is my new understudy Naruto Uzumaki, and Naruto, this is my girl, Dulcia, defender of Fidos and the second Ninjeti sanctuary." Naruto's eyes broadened. "A subsequent sanctuary? Your little girl?" Ninja gestured. "Without a doubt. Do you recall our examples on the conflict I took part in with the request for Meridian? Where Zordon and I, alongside numerous other, presently fallen, partners, battled Expert Terrible and Ivan Seepage. At last Naruto made the association. That was your war room on Fidos then, at that point. The subsequent sanctuary? To be sure, Naruto. Dulcia was the silver officer of the Ninjeti of that time, and her mom was the remainder of the local Nephthadian race. After the conflict she took over obligations safeguarding the vestiges of the sanctuary to keep the transforming lattice association there from falling into underhanded hands. Dulcia feigned exacerbation, while compelling reason need to make me sound completely like a recluse. "Father, I simply never stray excessively far away from the Hyperion bunch with the goal that I can return if necessary." "Right now," Naruto interposed. "Wow, so you most likely are a truly strong ninja. Also, would you confirm or deny that you are? Assuming you're the offspring of an Otsutsuki like the Sage of the Six Ways." Dulcia zeroed in on the youngster and enacted her ordinarily torpid Byakugan. The youngster had a great deal of chakra. "Without a doubt, and since the vast majority of my crude chakra and network power is secured in keeping up with the Fuinjutsu and wizardry wards safeguarding Fidos, I figure you could perhaps give me a tolerable battle." Naruto took a minor offense to that. "Stand by what? You have an impairment and you think I'd in any case lose?" Ninja grunted. "Naruto, she may not look a day north of 20 by human guidelines. However, she is 6,100 years of age, and has been an officer for the last 6,000. Naruto didn't actually have a rebound for that, so he just stuck his tongue out at his coach to delay. "Really an experienced reaction, my kid. Well, hello teacher, since you and your kin live everlastingly as long as you either eat planets or are associated with the transforming network, it doesn't mean you're unfading or amazing. I mean, Zordon wouldn't have children my age battling the 12,000-year-old Rita Repulsa and Master Zed, assuming age made a difference that much." Tinkling chuckling conquered Ninja's reaction, and he went to confront his entertained girl. "I truly like this one, father. He has soul and he likewise has a point, at a simple extremely old I shouldn't have battled such an eldritch malevolent as Ivan Slime, but I needed to save the world, and my abilities developed to address the difficulty. With a smart slant of his head Ninja surrendered the point. You are both right. After such countless hundreds of years I some of the time fail to remember the force of youth and assurance. You both have searing wills that let you gain the abilities expected to meet and defeat the best of difficulties and disasters. And for that reason I called Dulcia here today, to observe the expansion of another officer. The two humanoids fixed their backs in shock. Dulcia, in light of the fact that there had not been another officer straightforwardly under her dad since the passings of the remainder of her group fixing Ivan away. Furthermore, Naruto on the grounds that he had been trying towards this second for 18 months, since he genuinely comprehended and found out about the power officers and how they helped this universe. And when he understood that the transforming framework likely could be his main way back home and that his home universe could utilize a gathering like the officers, Naruto rapidly conquered his shock and it transformed into extravagance. Yes. Much thanks to you, teacher. I will be the best condemned officer there has at any point been. I'll safeguard this universe, find a way back to mine, and afterward make new officers there to safeguard everybody. Databao. Dulcia handled the entire my universe piece of that probably also can be anticipated, in that she documented the data to move toward her dad about later. Before long Naruto had tidied himself up and was remaining before Ninja in the fundamental room of the sanctuary where he had seemed 2 years earlier, right on target between the special raised area, the jar, and the door. Ninja had Naruto shut his eyes and started his discourse. For a very long time I have directed you as you continued looking for information and power, more established than time itself. Man has consistently known the calling. Lightning started and shocked all through the room, from Ninja, to the container, to the special stepped area, and through Dulcia. Light of the light, the strength of the spirit, it touched off this everlasting power within me. I'm Ninja. I'm unadulterated of heart, body, brain, and soul. The lightning currently surrounded and spiraled around Naruto. Get together with me now, as I become one with the genuine power. Your process is finished, open your eyes and guarantee your predetermination. The lightning struck Naruto and framed a connection among him and Ninja, his ninja preparing outfit fortified and moved. Soon he was wearing a full ninja clothing total with facial covering and hood. It was orange in variety with dark trim. Right on target on his chest was his power coin's image writ enormous. What's more, in his grasp, was the 9-followed fox power coin. He woke up and afterward opened them more extensive. That damn fox, he followed me even here. To be sure, my protege, the fox's soul lives in my astral plane with the wide range of various creature spirits my ninjetti officers bond with, associated with the transforming network. It won't deliberately associate with you, yet you will draw power from it. And utilizing its power I have made a Zord for you. Dulcia let out a low whistle. I can feel the power from that coin. Father, areas of strength for how this soul you discuss. It seems in no way like my owl soul. Kurama, the Kyubi no Kitsune of Naruto's planet, has the force of a full Ultra Megazord without anyone else if completely delivered. Naruto saw the principal chink in Dulcia's trust in her eyes only there. There was a flicker of concern and maybe even trepidation. Naruto, in his full orange ninja officer gear, shifted his head in a way basically the same as his lord as he checked out at the 6 gathered officers of Zordon. Send them back, ninja teacher. I'm not intrigued. I'll go battle Rita and Zed myself assuming need be. What? However, you know nothing about us. The young lady wearing pink shouted. I saw your appalling battle against those congested pigeons. That is all I expected to make my idea to my lord. Never let it be said that Naruto couldn't gain from books. He super found it exhausting to sit and peruse. Well, that and Ninja had gotten him even the slightest peep about the day schedule a year ago. Damn individuals thought he was inept his entire life, and all he really wanted was a word reference and a persistence to begin establishing better connections. He snapped his concentration back onto the white-dressed youngster with his long hair maneuvered once more into a braid. That wasn't our best, I concede, yet let us win over yourself and your lord. Next came the, truly in Naruto's brain totally forgettable, Red One. We must safeguard Heavenly Messenger woods and earth. What's more, we've battled long and hard. Rito just got the drop on us and hit us such that we were unable to retaliate later. Next the one wearing dark ventured forward and Naruto really wanted to think, gracious Kami, they are alternating. He held up his hand, fine, geez you folks are steady. Indeed much the same as one more teen I know. Ninja at long last made some noise. Teen. The 6 officers yelled in shock. With a moan Naruto demorphed and was back into his ordinary preparation gear. Better believe it, I've most likely just got a couple of months on the most established of you all, however you know what. I may as yet kick every one of the 6 of your butts in a fight, Databeo. He held his clenched hand out in challenge. Great, Naruto, a 6-on-1 fight, no weapons, restrict yourself to 5 clones, and in the event that they dazzle us I will help them. Ninja interfered with setting the terms for both the battle and their guide. I'm still going to kick their butts. Naruto fell into a battle position. His taijutsu had worked on extraordinarily over the 3 years of tutelage under Ninja. He had a wide sideways horse position and one arm situated somewhere near his midsection, clenched hand shut with the other out in front with an open palm confronting his rivals. The 6 officers generally bounced back to acquire some space prior to taking a gander at one another and gesturing. They generally fell into their own positions and Naruto promptly focused on his rivals. The white one was the most risky, which appeared to be legit as they generally appeared to contrast to his perspective on occasion. The dark one was his next need. There was a recognizable thing about the kid's position. He probably rehearsed a military workmanship like a taijutsu style he had battled previously. He figured he would focus on the red 33%. He appeared to have somewhat of a kickboxing position. Yet, that was comparably far as he got before the officers moved, the white one shooting forward to go up against him straightforwardly, and he understood he ought to have put the blue and pink ones a lot higher in his rundown. The pink officer was quick and she was spry, and she was behind him in somewhere around 5 seconds and 2 flips. The blue officer's battle style was not a huge deal, however inside an additional 5 seconds the youngster was shooting fast kicks into any little opening that was made by the white one's strong strikes and the pink one's consistent portability. The red, yellow, and dark officers were all skilled, he would give them that. They could likely beat most genin in a straight taijutsu fight. Be that as it may, they didn't have anything on the cooperation of the white, blue, and pink officers. Naruto was playing a protective taijutsu procedure to test the officers before he took out any kind of ninjutsu, not to mention his clones. Damnation, he sort of needed to check whether he could beat them with simply the Institute 3, that would be truly a triumph. So dodging one more hatchet kick from the pink young lady he supplanted himself with a log as the blue one struck out. Ow! The shout of torment from the glasses-wearing youngster as he punched straight into a log really took care of his clown soul. Cowabunga troublemakers! Naruto called out, having watched High School Freak Ninja Turtles on a VCR and television. Dulcia had gotten last time she went to Earth to talk with Zordon, in addition to he truly needed to shake them. Obviously getting down on your assaults was idiotic and something the officers were utilized to both doing and taking advantage of. So when Naruto let out his rallying call he gave Tommy sufficient opportunity to carry far removed of his falling kick from 20 feet up. The cavity and residue cloud Naruto made had every one of the 6 officers jump back in shock. He's not even transformed. The dark officer yelled in shock. Furthermore, he can do some sort of confusion stunt. I couldn't dissect how he got that log there, yet keep an eye out. He could involve the residue as a distraction. The blue officer was most certainly the scholar of the gathering. Okay. Abruptly the blue officer was maneuvered down into the earth up to his neck, and Naruto jumped out behind him. Bingo specs. Billy. The pink one shouted out. 1 down, 5 to go. Naruto got a kick that had been going directly at his head and threw the red one into the parts of a close-by tree, both taking the breeze out of him and tangling him up. Make that 4 to go. The yellow and dark officers chose to go after together, while pink and white endeavored to flank the more experienced ninja. Naruto dodged a roundhouse kick from the darker-looking yellow officer and cleared her other foot free from her, while at the same time getting the dark officer's mallet clench hand and forcing him horrendously. He had to reverse somersault and delivery them when the officer's chief came in with a helicoptering whirlwind of twist kicks. The pink one entirely got him with a strike emerging from the force of a path of cartwheels. With a murmur Naruto made a solitary hand sign. I was resisting the urge to stress about you all, yet I suppose you personally merit breaking somewhat sweat on. 2 duplicates of himself sprung up and went to separately draw in the pink and white officers. With a wicked smile he turned around to the next 2 officers. A little while ago getting off their butts, now where would we say we were? The dark and yellow officers shocked Naruto by rushing forward with a matched, not set in stone and dreary looks on their countenances. Once more Naruto took part in a very uneven combative techniques match against the 2 officers. He was dazzled by their assurance, yet when he acquired the recollections of the white and pink officers popping his clones he quit fooling around, and by pulling his arms right up front and turning between the 2 officers, snatched them by their arms, and with a twist sent them flying into their oncoming colleagues. As every one of the 4 leftover officers moaned and attempted to unwind themselves, Ninja ventured forward. Stop, Naruto, I have adequately seen. They have the soul on the off chance that not the crude power. Naruto folded his arms and glowered gently. HN. Then, at that point, he squinted and shook his head. Extraordinary, I'm transforming into Sasuke. With a shiver he gestured to his master. I can kind of see where you're coming from, Ace, yet I solicitation to prepare them after they finish their ongoing fight. The transforming matrix will give them admittance to chakra capacities while transformed, and they'll require somebody to show them how to utilize that appropriately. Ninja bowed in passive consent. Really, you are my follower, Naruto, for I plan to propose only that. My power will be extraordinarily decreased for quite a while subsequent to empowering their old power coins. This would be an ideal open door both to test your abilities by instructing and to give them admittance to their new powers all the more rapidly. Naruto went to the gradually gathering 6 officers, still languid from their beatdown. Suppose I'm returning to Earth with you all. In any case, don't think I'll allow you to relax. A mischievous smile crossed his face, and Naruto chose to play a little trick. I will show you all the force of youth. He siphoned a clench hand out of sight and could see on their countenances that they certainly thought he was crazy. Where before your powers came from the beast power of the dinosaurs, presently it comes from the quick and crafty of the ninja. Naruto nearly giggled at Ninja's showing off, for all Ninja was somewhat of a recluse. Whenever he got his opportunity he wanted to flaunt and intrigue. Truly, to Naruto all ninjas were definitely more sensational than their occupation ought to leave them alone, and he absolutely remembered himself for that with satisfaction. However, he pondered internally, assuming that they think their new Zords are amazing, I can hardly hold on until they see Mecha Kurama. The name he had tenderly given his Zord, with full information that would it be a good idea for him he at any point enter the soul plane, the fox would totally have no regret in eating him for the insult. This is in excess of a rebuilding of your officer controls. Your new power coins accompany further developed powers. Notwithstanding, as before it is significant you cooperate collectively. With that in mind, all the Zords have the capacity. Ace, they know how to frame a Megazord. Naruto at last cut in. Naruto, give me my second. Dissatisfied child ninja mumbled to himself as different officers looked apparently alarmed at the byplay. They truly didn't have the foggiest idea what to think about this now fiery and invigorated variant of the sage contrasted with his underlying held and cranky picture. Or of this unrepentant joker who had kicked their whole group into the ground and would now obviously be showing them how to use some sort of new inward power that would accompany the new coins. No matter what my supporters' absence of energy for the craft of the speech. Hack discourse hack, was Naruto's reaction. You have really demonstrated deserving of being gave these ninja controls and being prepared further in the ninja expressions. Step forward and guarantee your Zords. Ruff the strong red chimp, Aisha the wild yellow bear, Billy the quiet blue wolf, Kimberly the sparkling pink crane, Adam the savvy dark frog, lastly Tommy the simply white bird of prey. They ventured forward and guaranteed their Zords. When that was finished, Naruto acquired their consideration. Presently, for a little test, those Tenga heroes that brought you such a lot of hardship prior are endeavoring to get close enough to the sanctuary. Beat their butts for me, will ya? Think about this, your graduation test. Naruto made a slam seal before his chest and gave a Kakashi reserved eye grin. Then you will really be my little group of genin. Perhaps sometime or another I'll allow you to take the title of Chunin, yes. Billy went to Adam. I'm expecting those are ninja positions. I can't help thinking about how high those go. Naruto showed up between them in a puff of smoke. Genin, Chunin, Jonin, and a head of a ninja group or town of outrageous power can be a Kage. Presently get out there before I put you in confinement for talking during a test. Adam accepted this remark as the joke it was, with a roll of his eyes. Billy then again appeared to be really upset. After some seriously posing, to Naruto it seemed like the officers utilized vain behaviors as a bolster to all the more effectively access the force of the transforming matrix, the manner in which ninja utilized hand sign strings when with additional preparation they could accomplish something very similar with only one hand sign or one gave signs. As the recently ninja-garbed officers destroyed the Tenga fighters, Naruto noticed them from the edge where the desert met the sanctuary edges. Gee, he murmured to himself as Billy snatched a Tenga and hammered it into the ground a lot harder than he had recently shown the limit with regards to. Tommy getting dogpiled and afterward breaking out with a substitution strategy shocked Naruto, as well as Kimberly's nearby exhibit of a frail shunshin that displayed as her obscuring in a line of super speed. The coins are providing them with a natural comprehension of fundamental jutsu and chakra utilization, captivating. Wait, is that? He zeroed in his look on Aisha as she beat down some Tenga fiercely. Some steam was getting away from through the eye cut in her face mask. Ninja, these coins, they force open a door. It's like being supercharged. Adam shouted, and Naruto pondered exactly how much. It can't be more than the entryway of opening, however, yet I can't help thinking about what sort of cost this will have on their bodies when they demorph. Naruto didn't have additional opportunity to harp on this as the officers immediately prepared to withdraw to battle an attacking Rito Revolto. The orange ninja went to them. Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, Adam, Aisha, and Ruff, you have finished your assessment. I'm glad to give upon you the position of genin. Stop Rito here with your new Zords and I will start your preparation tomorrow. I'm completely friend, you can thump this beanpole around until he returns home crying to his sister. Tommy ventured forward and stood out a hand. I'm eager to gain from you, Naruto master. The things you can do beyond your transform even have truly woken up and that of the group. We have quite far to go before this power is genuinely our own. Adam smiled and infused. In addition to those moves were really cool. That clone one particularly. Ha! You all poor person even seen half of what I can do. When I put you through my energetic preparation system you will have the option to do this. Naruto put a hand out of sight and shaped a super Rasengan the size of a huge volleyball. This child can pack a similar punch as your consolidated weapon gun you used to explode beasts before. Better believe it. Don't look shocked, I got my work done on my charming devotees. As the Rasengan blurred, the officers looked reasonably dazzled and transformed into their new ninja attire frames and sent off themselves into their Zords to take out Rito. It was a reasonably uneven battle. The officers in their new super bird of prey ninja megazord constrained the skeletal foe into a rushed retreat, without coming about to a genuine completing move with a weapon. You were correct, teacher, these children have potential. Naruto Tommy is a month more seasoned than you. The fuck? And the others? Aisha and Adam are the most youthful. You actually are a couple of months more established than Billy, Kimberly, and Ruff. Definitely about him. For what reason is Ruff the red officer rather than Tommy? His ancestor was a commendable red officer and Tommy was his co-chief. Tommy previously had his white tiger abilities when Jason needed to leave. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ruff is definitely not a terrible decision for an officer. He and Adam are equivalent in ability, I'd say. However, maybe Adam has the better personality and potential. It simply appears to be a peculiar decision for a red with the officer history you've let me know previously. Indeed, that's what I trust, assuming the decisions were produced using Scratch. Tommy would be the red officer of his group. Ruff doesn't appear to mind not being the pioneer, however. That was intriguing to see. Gee, well, I'll tell Zordon you will show up in a couple of days once the new powers and Zords have been accustomed to their war room. The following day saw a beast's assault on the sanctuary. Clearly Zed had found its area when the Tengas followed the officers there the last day. Naruto was perched on an edge eating popcorn while Ninja played with Vampirus. The 6 officers showed up and he waved them over. No requirement for your Zords, folks. Assuming that expert appears as though he is in a tough situation, I'll show you my Zord, all things being equal. After a couple of additional trades it seemed like Ninja may be in a tough situation before he broke out of the deception Vampirus put him into. Face the force of my equity. Ninja Sage Mode. His monster heavily clad body acquired a chakra shroud, a protective cap, and his katana converged with its sheath into a naginata. A couple of additional extravagant moves and Vampirus was history. I need to concede, however, I sort of needed to see your Zord, Naruto, Adam said. Your power coin is a multi-followed fox, right? I envision your Zord is more phenomenal. Naruto squinted. Morphi, is that a Digimon reference? Like colossal? Naruto let out an exceptionally phony wheeze. Billy, would you say you are a geek? Naruto had gotten Ninja to introduce Link the year before. Billy, who experienced some difficulty with mockery, become flushed. I could watch Digimon. Kimberly anyway came to Billy's guard, likely in light of the fact that she assumed she comprehended that Naruto was a lively individual yet didn't know. Naruto-sensei, she utilized the honorific Tommy had a day or two ago. On the off chance that you likewise watch Digimon, doesn't that make you a geek, as well? Naruto sat leg over leg on a stone beyond the officers' war room with Zordon's officers organized in basically the same manner in a semicircle on the ground confronting him. Okay, my class of charming genin. I guess the principal thing I must do is make sense of where on earth your new powers are coming from, yes? Billy promptly lifted a hand and Naruto murmured, yes, Billy. I thought our powers all came from the transforming network and were directed in association by means of our power coins in a quantum harmonization with parts of our creature spirits. Once more, Naruto moaned and made a hand sign. With a puff of smoke a clone showed up close to him wearing a cliché sterile garment, and he threw the clone a parchment which with one more puff of smoke unlocked a chalkboard, everything being equal, brimming with outlines. So Billy, first of all, is right in respects to your old power coins, yet the new ninja power coins alongside freeing you up to the force of the transforming lattice effectively open your chakra loops and flood them with chakra through everything I can say to a prearranged and profoundly directed rendition of a perilous enhancer method I have gone over previously. He immediately held up a hand to stop their caution. This variant isn't risky to your well-being, aside from the expanded post-transform fatigue you have proactively seen, and that ought to blur in time. Okay, then that actually sounds pretty limit. Is there anything we ought to keep an eye out for, Naruto teacher? Tommy was, as usual, devoted to the prosperity of the group. Naruto considered this briefly as his clone went over the outlines to ensure they were right. Nah, I believe you're fine on that end. I'm trusting extra chakra preparing in transform will ultimately permit you to have regular chakra loops out of it, however, yet you'll continuously have a lot bigger chakra stores to take advantage of in transform. The way that the underground fish method and shunshin are instinctual to you folks all focuses to that in any event. However, for the shunshin, Kimberly just played out the exceptionally essential variant of it. Presently Kimberly, who appeared to be exceptionally secure with herself in specific social circumstances and battle, yet in some cases drew inwards when hypothesis and science were zooming near, lifted her hand. Probably, Cammy, you folks, kindly quit lifting your hands. An inquiry regarding your shunsin, I surmise, Kimberly. She become flushed delicately prior to making some noise. All right. So Naruto master, what might a total shushushin no shunshin? What might that resemble? With that Naruto smiled and leaped to his feet. The clone saw what was coming and got the board and mixed far removed. Like this. In an explosion of smoke and sand, Naruto showed up behind the officers. They generally bounced or began in shock. The smoke, trash, anything you pick occupies your adversaries and conceals your speed up and course in development, making yourself considerably harder to follow. Basically, obscuring like Kimberly did is the initial step in any case. Amazing. Can we pull the full oddball? Adam bounced in, very energized at the idea. That is correct. Absolutely, my energetic understudies. I will prepare you to do this in transform and perhaps some time or another out of it. Naruto's V for triumph hand signal was a piece over the top, and Aisha thought that he was simply doing a little. However, for the love of the power, she was unable to enlighten about the piece. Truly, Aisha was gradually turning out to be increasingly more of the assessment that their new coach was similarly essentially as crazy as their foes, however in a substantially more big-hearted way. However, on the off chance that ninja was any sign, it could simply be a ninja thing. Naruto, poofing back over to the board which was reset to its previous position, taken her back to the present nonetheless. So now that we accept your basal questions out of the way, I'm activity to explain chakra. Aback Naruto was additionally dressed like some arrangement of a lure assistant and was gesturing at the lath, alternating with his clone. From those diagrams, shouldn't he be dressed like a analysis or physics specialist, not chemistry? Billy, anticipation to himself. Of advance, the draft of the Rangers were aloof cerebration, he was bonkers. So about chakra is an activity of activity formed from an antithesis of concrete and airy energy, or yang and yin energies to be precise. Anybody artlessly has at atomic a little of these things, admitting the adeptness to absolutely use that activity is attenuate here. The address affiliated on for the bigger allotment of an hour, Naruto explained and approved abounding of the techniques he had abstruse in both his cosmos and from ninja. Best if not all of the abstruse ability was from ninja, however. Alright, now that we accept all that science, why approach applesauce out of the way? I'm activity to advise you guys the absolute stuff. Morph into your ninja apparel and wear activity to apprentice to feel our chakra. Everyone except Billy was animated by this statement. By meditating. Only Tommy, Billy, Adam, and Kim had any acquaintance with meditation, Rocky was added of a kickboxer and boxer in his aggressive arts acquaintance above mentioned to actuality a ranger, and Aisha's acquaintance was non-existent, she was aloof acutely bent to do acceptable in the world. The added accomplished rangers had all bested up over a sordid acquaint from Jason and Zordon. By the end of the third hour anybody had accomplished their chakra, the newer rangers actuality the aftermost holdouts, affiliated afterwards Tommy and Kim begin their chakra in the aboriginal bisected hour. Alright, so now I will appearance you how to do techniques on purpose instead of on instinct, we'll alone be starting with one for this session, the best advantageous and activity extenuative as Tommy showed us in that Tenga fight, the substitution jutsu. With that Naruto showed them how to use Duke signs, over, and over, and over, before he began slamming his arch into the arena in frustration. Alright, stop. Now I apprehend why we had 2 years in the Academy of Hand Signs afore we absolutely abstruse any jutsu, to addition that has not gotten them bottom ward to beef anamnesis it sucks and takes forever, I assumption I'm allotment homework. I abhorrence myself for that but whatever, I assumption I'll leave some pamphlets with Zordon, is there a archetype boutique in town? 3 canicule of practice, 3 canicule of homework and alone Tommy was alike able to anatomy able ram assurance to focus his chakra, and annihilation else. And the day afterwards that Naruto stood in the command centermost staring at the viewing globe with Alpha and Zordon. AIEE. This monster has absolutely addled the Rangers. It was true, the monster formed out of Kimberly's daydream was accomplishing a cardinal on the Rangers in their ninja garb, they artlessly were not accomplished abundant with their ninja arts here to board the ablaze attributes of the armor, their antecedent uniforms were abundant added protective. The absolute command centermost was in for a abruptness about a back Tommy alleged out, alright, it's morphing time. White Falcon, Battle Morph. The accustomed attributes of the morphing grid would never cease to affect Naruto. The absolute Forester group, already Kimberly arrived, entered Battle Morph, anatomy about identical to their old uniforms yet with a smoother blush arrangement and their new beastly alcohol motif fed aloft the helmets. And they could now booty hits from the monster and arouse hardly tweaked variations of their old weapons. Sabo was not present with Tommy, excepting been heavily affiliated to the White Tiger Zord. About Kimberly had a ability bow that was a little sleeker and longer, and Billy's acrimony alfresco of agent's anatomy functioned added like bladed tunfas. Zordon I accept a lot to apprentice about Forester Admiral don't I? Indeed Naruto, while Ninja's administration was actual accelerated I accept begin 1,000 years to be the accepted breadth of time to absolutely accept the alpha of the added secrets of the grid. Yeah my body's about do not alive that long. I can accept Alpha and Billy anatomy you a tube if you would like, adolescent ninja. Alpha did Zordon aloof accomplish a joke? AIEE Zordon you cannot do that. Make a antic or action me a tube. Alpha's lights affiliated to beam in distress. It was Saturday and the Rangers and Naruto were demography a breach from training to accept lunch. The Rangers had all arranged their own lunches, admitting Naruto was artlessly burglary pieces from everyone's boxes. By now they had become acclimated to this habit. Naruto either apparent a cup of bleared cup ramen or he mooched. As he was munching on a bisected of a credibility baseborn from Billy, Adam angry to ask Naruto a question. Hey, Naruto-sensei, Ninja and Zordon both mentioned you actuality from edition ambit right? Does castigation accept annihilation like ability rangers? Or Zords? Naruto paused in his snacking as he advised the question. Well not absolutely Adam, the affair bound drew the absorbed gazes of the added rangers, I accept you could say that a moral ninja accumulation could action the way the ability rangers do, but my apple is not absolutely as peaceful as your apple is politically. Oh, abiding your apple consistently has a few wars waging and its own brutalities. But the circadian lives of best bodies aren't violent. In my apple you get accomplished from age 8 in a academy to be a warrior if you accept alike a bit of talent, and at 12 you get to go on missions that can advance to you accepting to annihilate or be killed. Zordon's rangers looked austere or abashed at this description. That's horrible. Kimberly gasped. Naruto ag his arch to the ancillary in anticipation a moment. Doing it was not what was abhorrent. I anticipate it was necessary. The abhorrent affair was that affectionate of affair was a necessity. Naruto-sensei, Tommy's articulation was grim. Have you any time asleep somebody? The Konoha shinobi looked bottomward at the ground. Not a no, but I authority myself actual answerable and complex with the deaths of a few. The one that sticks out the best is Haku, Shihi. They could accept been a budding acquaintance, but article I did acquired them to bandy themselves in the way of a killing draft advised for another. There was an afflictive blackout for a few account of for Naruto agitated on. And about Zords no, but there are creatures alleged bijou, massive aroused constructs of chakra and angry that booty abundant amusement in destruction, so the adverse of a Zord I guess. I fought the one-tailed beast, Shikaku, or the Ichibi myself once, fought it off by summoning a behemothic toad. Naruto paused at that. Yeah, I assumption the beyond summoned beasts are agnate to Zords in a way, but they can anticipate and feel and talk. But anyways, Shikaku was a behemothic raccoon barbarian fabricated of chakra alloyed sand. It had apprenticed its host absolutely insane. Naruto-sensei. Aisha interrupted, about fearing the acknowledgement she again asked, what do you beggarly buy, host? With a abysmal blow Naruto explained, a person, they allowanced the barbarian into a person. I had the Kyubi no Kitsune closed central of me, the nine-tailed beast, it got ripped out a back. I came to this universe. Tommy let afar a low whistle. That's what happens to addition with that inside. They alleviate fast, the demon can accord them added chakra, but if the allowance is anemic the demon can and will access the host, drive them batty in some cases. Naruto massaged his temples for a second. The Shikaku it was closed central a acquaintance of mine, Gaara, it assertive Gaara that it was the spirit of his mother and collection him into an batty claret rage. Gaara asleep so abounding bodies to allay that barbarian until I was able to advise him breach through and ascertain that Shikaku wasn't his mother. He looked the rangers asleep into their eyes. You anticipate Rita and Zed are accurate evil? Let me appearance you a actuality of authentic acerbity and how it feels. He formed the hand sign for the transformation jutsu and aback an 8-bottom albino raccoon barbarian stood in advance of them, and it began to afford alone what the rangers could call as authentic angry and acerbity and arduous intent. Aisha fell to the ground, Adam stumbled backwards, Billy acquainted the aboriginal asthma advance aback he acquired his Forester Admiral building, Rocky was arctic in place, Kimberly was afraid like a leaf, and Tommy had to authority himself aback from advancing in response. Tommy had acquainted that affectionate of angry before, central himself as the Green Ranger. Naruto concluded the transformation and faced them, accoutrements crossed. I about backbiting you guys Rita and Zed as opponents. They are so focused on their little pissing challenge with Zordon that they do not apprehend how calmly they could account calamity to this world, if they adored up their activity for ages or two and again unleashed alike 7 monsters on 7 altered cities. What would you do? How would you save the world? Billy opened his aperture to a ledge and again paused and sat bottomward to think. Kim and Tommy gave anniversary added afraid looks, accepting been at the Bolda affiliated time and never because the possibility. Will accomplishment today on that note, that's your homework, allocution to Zordon, amount out what you would do if your opponents anytime got their active out of their asses. That night Kimberly's accessible move to Paris with her mother was the extreme affair from her nightmares. Though because her daydream was of a Zord-sized Shikaku antibacterial, the Eiffel Tower and best of Paris, her nightmares may accept artlessly combined. On the moon Rita was accepting a acreage day with Finster's dream viewer. Oh, attending at that appalling monster. I aloof appetite to hug it to death. The violence. The malice. The style. Yes, Finster, this daydream monster authoritative abstraction was genius. Tomorrow the Pink Forester shall face her own alive nightmare. Authentic genius. Oh, acknowledge you, Your Highness. Admitting I charge, ask how does Lord Zed feel about this idea? Bah. He's bad-tempered. Afterwards our bootless attack to get that annoying ninja. This will be a ace's way to acclimation him up a back. It works. Oh, such a admirable present for him, my queen. You are a like added a ability than I. Iakia. Tommy cried as he let afar a flurry of bang bliss into the two final putties, sending them beginning apart. Hey, isn't there usually a monster with these guys? Rocky questioned. Originally that was not consistently absolutely academic of an encounter, however, afterwards the aboriginal brace of months of Rita's aggression, I do accept that bound became the case. Yes. Just say, yes, Billy. Oh, don't anguish children. Mummy's actuality to adore your blood. Ahahaha. Swirling bank in the esplanade coalesced into an 8-bottom alpine accustomed anatomy from the day before. Time to face the angry of the night moon. The daydream raccoon. Guys, I apperceive that name is absolutely brainless, but did Rita Aloof accomplish a knockoff adaptation of the monster Naruto showed us yesterday? Yeah, I anticipate he did. Tommy, does she apprehend minds? Is that a affair we charge to anguish about now? Adam pondered. Kimberly chewed on her lip beneath her mask. Maybe it was aloof account our dreams. I had a daydream about it aftermost night. That is partially abating some fears, about it brings to the ahead its own concerns, Billy said. Bah! Shut up. Naughty accouchement charge a big baleful hug from Mummy. Bank coffin. The monster pushed its accoutrements out and a blitz of bank came at the rangers who leapt to the ancillary to dodge. The beastly leapt advanced and punched Rocky appropriate in the gut, sending him aerial with a weirdly timed access afterward abaft him. This affair hits absolutely adamantine, guys. Rocky yelled as he formed to a stop and stood up shakily. You're right, Ninja Forester battle mode, it's morphing time. Falcon. Tommy led the Carol to about face into their bigger armored forms with their new beastly spirit helmets. Ape. Wolf. Bear. Frog. Crane. With access of a blaze, the Rangers were now bigger armed and armored. While Tommy was relying on his blaster while the added Rangers pulled out their ability weapons and had at the angry Tanuki knockoff. Yet annihilation they did seem to assuredly accidented, the anatomy seemed to be fabricated of bank and ameliorate quickly. This isn't working. Aisha yelled, we charge addition strategy. Tommy commissioned himself for a timberline annex as the beastly abounding the breadth he had been with sand. Ranger's anatomy up. I accept an idea. Quickly the Rangers formed up abaft Tommy in a advance out V, as if they were activity to approach their ability into the ability blaster. Channel all your chakra to your easily and focus your activity and will. Their easily all began to afterglow their corresponding ability colors. Fire away. Accumulated chakra cannon jutsu. A bouncing access of consciousness expanding activity roared alternating into the beastly, and it was angry into a accumulation of aqueous glass. No. These brainless rangers and their new powers. Zed. Zeddy. Come actuality so we can accomplish this monster grow. We accept to hit this affair adamantine from the get-go. Tommy yelled, affirmative. Right on. We've got this. We charge Ninja Falcon Megazord ability now. Soon the Ninja Falcon Megazord was duking it out with the Night Moon, and yet, aloof like with the Abate version, every bang seemed to do annihilation that did not ameliorate or heal. It's like punching the bank guys. Rocky yelled in frustration, Have you done that before? Billy asked, absolutely concerned. Not the time, boys. This affair is so abundant worse at this size, I don't anticipate a brand would help. We charge some way to authority it calm to aching it. Kim screamed, fire or baptize would do the trick, we could advance the monster appear the bay. Billy suggested, let's do it. Unfortunately the bay was additionally by its actual attributes by the beach, aloof as they got the barbarian oral 100 backyard of the baptize it bedeviled ascendancy of the bank adjacent and trapped the Megazord. Ahaha. Oil may not be as candied as claret but mummy is activity to barbecue now. Warning alarms blared as the bank put burden assimilate the Megazord systems. How did Naruto exhausted this thing? Aisha yelled over the alarms. Well, you could aloof ask. Naruto's articulation came calmly over the advice arrangement affiliated to the command center. Well again Naruto-sensei, what would you suggest? Tommy replied, a bit balked at Naruto's brassy attitude at a time like this. I anticipate it's Fox Zord time. After a few abnormal of annihilation over the advice band the Rangers noticed the angry raccoon barbarian about face its absorption to article in the distance. A Zord 3 times the admeasurement of but a agnate appearance to the dejected wolf Zord came bonds into view, with 9 automated cape alive abaft it. It was orange and red on its armor plating and aback its run angry into a advanced cast and spin, Foxy Megajutsu, Foxfire Wheel. Naruto's articulation alleged out over the comms. The Rangers all groaned. He comes up with the worst names. Kimberly could not advise commenting, admitting the approaching doom he was extenuated them from. The Zord had angry into a ablaze caster and airtight appropriate into the Ichibi ripoff, sending it aerial and slagging its albino anatomy partially. Alright. That's what I'm talking about. Time for the finisher. Foxy Megajutsu, Plasma Tails. The 9 tails of the beastly Zord lit up like orange lightsabers and as the Fox Zord dodged and angry and spun a appendage would base through the Nightman's anatomy abrogation a superheated anguish that did not heal. Now for the final move. Plasma appendage ending, Plasma Parade. Once added the Zord spun like a wheel, with anniversary of its 9 cape rapidly casting out and slashing the monster to pieces, with the arch actuality cut off with the 9th strike. Yeah. That's how we do it Naruto style.